Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to revoke the privilege very early in the game. Set you up for a very strong world conquest. Let's jump right into it. First things first, check if Burgundy can be your ally. If you can't, restart. If you can, of course, grab that alliance, and I also like to grab an alliance with Poland straight away. Then I like to grab an alliance with Brandenburg and two other electors of your choice. Usually the Palatinate is a good choice, and whoever else. How about Trier? You want to make sure that it's no one that is allied to a rival already. 5 days in, you got 5 alliances. You're looking good. Make sure you send the royal marriages to everyone, especially Burgundy, because that's how you get the inheritance. But you want your dynasty to be spread out, so don't accept royal marriages. Rather, request royal marriages every time. Of course, I'm going to grab the manor privilege. I'd recommend immediately seizing land. I'm going to wait just a minute to get the rest of the states because I want some stability. Just going to wait probably just one tick, 1 month, grab stability, go back and do these states. I like the advisor cost ones. Of course, I would highly recommend grabbing the religious diplomats as well. This is super important. And then I would get oversight by the clergy, rights of council, patron of the arts, and free enterprise. That way your equilibrium will be above 50, so you should be able to seize land without rebels. You're going to want to work towards your first mission, which is going to be secure electors. But I would use one of your diplomats to curry favors with Poland. So the mission's pretty simple. You just need 5 electors to be voting for you and have at least 100 opinion. 3 of them are going to be relatively close, if not there already, because they are your allies. However, just improve relations with some electors that like you. It'll take a minute, but it's totally fine. You got time. It's a solid choice to rival Bohemia, the Ottomans, and France. That's what I like. I generally just recruit up to about 13 guys in each army. Just kind of turn off your maintenance, hang out for a bit. So once an elector hits 100 or over 100, make sure you swap it off. I was a little late on that one, as you saw. Currently I've got 3 of 5. I just need to grab these 2 more and we should be good. There's no need to spend money or anything like that. You're not in the most rush. You'll be fine. I would avoid any stability drops early game, just because you need missionary strength, and I'll get to that later. Normally I would say, in this case, I would take the stab drop, but not just because we can't take any stab drops early, okay? Keep that in mind. I'd also recommend putting your leader as a general. That will increase the chance that he dies, which will give you 10 imperial authority. Once your 4th elector finishes, you can use the diplomat to get some favors with Burgundy as well. You hopefully should have 10 favors with Burgundy and Poland by the time you get your mission done. So it's time to turn on that maintenance once you're kind of close to that the 5th elector voting for you, right? Because you're gonna do this Restoration of Union war straight away. Complete this mission, it'll give you Restoration of Union CB, and you should just be able to call on your allies. Poland sometimes won't go because of attitude, which is fairly annoying, but you can just call on Burgundy and your other guys. You should be fine. Just play it smart. You really just want to siege the capital, and you should be good. We'll go ahead and declare this war. My experience, he mostly goes after your friends, and you can just go ahead and siege his forts. It's pretty simple. So you want to grab the Union with Bohemia, but you also want to grab his capital. So you'll need quite some high war score to get there. So now that I can grab his capital and the Union, I'm going to grab that. That should be good. Of course, you're grabbing the capital, so you can benefit from this great project here. I generally like to disband the fort in Prague, and you can go ahead and complete these 2 missions here. Make sure you don't select the Decline of Hungary mission. You'll notice that your heir is on his throne, and depending on how patient you are scum saving, you can get him in the Union. Or if you're lucky the first time, good for you. Of course, make sure to improve relations with Bohemia. I would recommend using extra diplomats to start improving relations with the nations in Italy, because we're going to want to do that reign in Italy. So what I would do is go to your missions, look at the reign in Italy, and you'll notice all these provinces need to have 150 relations with you. So start improving relations when you can. It's not high priority, just kind of do it on the side. If you get offered the event for missionary strength or tech cost, take the missionary strength, because we're going to have to convert this to get the benefit from it. I would recommend keeping your maintenance off early game as often as possible. Make sure you continue to seize land when possible. I would recommend boosting your stability to at least 2 and not grabbing tech 4 straight away. You're going to need as much missionary strength as you can to convert this, as it's a religious center. Pay close attention to this next move, because you'll want to do it right. Go ahead and state it, but do not pay for the core. Go ahead and accept the culture. Now that the culture is accepted, I'm going to unstate, and now I'm going to concentrate development. And then I can go ahead and state it. On top of that, I like to exploit development. That way, you're getting the development down as much as possible. You can now, of course, core it. That's fine. You notice that took the 2.2 we had earlier to 1.6. So that is, every little bit helps here. So you're going to have to grab a missionary strength advisor. And then on top of that, you're going to need to grab enforced unity of faith. One important thing I forgot to mention is you can grab this edict for enforced religious unity. I want this province to be converted as fast as possible, right? It's going to give you imperial authority every month of 0.5. So I've got the maximum amount of buffs going that I could get. I didn't get any event. Sometimes you get an event that'll give you an extra %, but for me it's totally fine. It's going to convert in just about 3.5 years. And that's because I had everything I could going for me. Again, we're converting this because we have to get the benefits from the monument. Keep an eye on Hungary, and specifically your heir. Once he turns of age, Hungary's going to pick whether or not he wants to be your subject. And in the recent patch, it seems he doesn't like to pick you often. So if you might have to scum save if you would like that. Of course, when you get this event, the timing can be better. In my case, the timing's not great because I probably don't have enough authority to pass something before. Because I'm going to get a lot of authority for this. I'm going to be well over, right? But that's okay. It's not a huge deal. Make sure you're ready to get the rebels in Prague, as they are definitely going to revolt, and you don't want to stop your conversion for very long. So when you get this event, the Milanian succession, we're going to get him in less than 100 years anyways. And, you know, he's going to be one of our guys, so don't worry about that. Also, I should keep improving relations down here with the different people. We're going to try to reign in Italy, of course. It's important. So you notice the Hungarian throne right here. If you get this event, it means you should scum save. I'm going to. Just a fair warning, I've seen this take up to 6 scum saves before. And if you don't want to go that route, you don't have to. You can instead use the CB to get Restoration of Union. It's just going to make things a bit harder. So just depending on your patience, I would recommend scum saving until you get it, but play how you want to play, right? I finally got this. It took about 10 tries, and I wanted to just war with him. I was close. If you're patient, you'll get it eventually. It's just very frustrating how unlikely it is in this current patch. You'll get it eventually, but they've made it a little bit painful, I'm not going to lie. So I got a bunch of extra Imperial Authority, and I don't want that to go to waste necessarily. So a good idea would be to start bestowing Imperial Grace a bit. Since I have 62, I'm going to bestow Imperial Grace to probably like every province down here. That seems like a good idea. Basically, I just want to bestow Imperial Grace to like every one of these guys in Italy. And I'm just doing this because I happen to have a big surplus. You don't necessarily need to do this. But you might as well not waste your Imperial Authority, right? And then I can go and grab the First Reform. That's totally fine. Of course, you can complete your mission, the Decline of Hungary now, and the Royal Hungary. And I can go ahead and grab the Balance of Power for me. That's fine. So I would start improving relations with basically all of these guys down here. That's kind of your next major objective. Of course, you're gonna get the event happen in 1460, but you might as well start getting ready for it. And be extra careful that you're on top of your siege land, especially because you had to give out another. A religious culture makes you lose crown land as well. So be really careful that you're seizing and cooldown, or you're gonna have a high autonomy. For your second privilege, I would probably grab between the tax mod and the manpower mod. As the Emperor, I have a lot of manpower, so I think I'm actually gonna grab the tax mod, which I normally don't do, but we're just gonna give it a try. So keep improving relations with all the different guys over here. You can't complete this before 1460 though, even if you had the relations. We're just doing it in preparation. So I finally managed to convert this province. Of course, you'll see that your enforced unity of faith will automatically go away. However, now I am getting the full rewards of this, right? I'm going to get that 0.5 a month. And that really does add up. So even at rank 1, that's going to be 0.60 a year, right? So it is important that you get that. You want to get that as soon as possible, right? One thing I recommend too is save your Diplo points, don't get to rank 5. And then when you can be able to get the 3 ranks in your idea, and this will give you this first Imperial Ambition as fast as possible. That would be my recommendation. I would recommend continuously putting your ruler in your army. It just increases the chance he'll die, and then you'll get an extra attempt authority, right? And as soon as you can, once you have 100 relations with Bohemia, I would go ahead and recommend usurping the electorate, that'll make it more likely for people to vote for you. You're going to want to do that. But make sure you have at least 100 relations with Bohemia before you do it. And of course, make sure when your guy dies, you send out more royal marriages, especially to Burgundy here. And I would recommend, you know, demanding on the full territory where you can is nice. Just because the more nations you have, the faster you're going to get your imperial authority. Of course, when the Shadow Kingdom event pops, you're going to definitely want to pick Reign in the Estates. Or Reign in the Italians, rather. Now that I got the Reign the Italians complete, I can go ahead and actually work towards that. So one thing to keep in mind is you're going to get 25 imperial authority straight away from it. So you don't want to, you know, you don't want to waste that. If you're, let's say if I was at 40, I wouldn't want to do it, right? But since I'm pretty close, I'm probably just going to go ahead and try to get it straight away. Of course, you can ally the ones if you need, but you just, if not, I would just recommend trying to get the relations above 150. If you have to ally a couple of them, you could do that. It's fine. Best way to look at this is go to your, just keep hovering over this and figure out which ones need to improve relations, right? And of course, now that I can get to admin 5, I've saved up almost max amount of points. Of course, I would recommend picking diplomatic ideas. And you should be able to get at least the first 2 and then almost the 3rd. And you just want to get this as soon as possible. I'd even focus this. I think this is fine. Don't be afraid to send gifts or influence nations down here to get your relations you need. Keep seizing land too, that's crucial. That's probably the most annoying part. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and reign in Italy. Grab that. You can see this grabs 25 imperial authority. So I'm a little over authority. I could have maybe waited, but that's just fine. I'm going to grab this straight away. Now that I got this 3rd idea done, I can also unlock this. So that's super nice. Shortly after you reign in Italy, you're going to get this event here, and it's just going to be the Pope will join. And of course, you're going to just want to hit the Pope will join the Empire. In my case, I need to make sure I'm getting voted for. I'm just going to improve relations with some electors now. I would recommend attacking Bosnia too before the Ottomans take that from you. So I'm just going to attack him here. Make sure you save some money for the institution that you're going to get at some point. It's probably going to be something like $400 or 400 ducats rather. I would recommend not taking provinces from the HRE too. Like, there's no point. You're going to get them anyways. But of course, Bosnia here you could take. And you could just give them, it's up to you if you want to take them for yourself or if you want to give them to Hungary. Essentially, if overextension would limit you from doing your next reform, I would give them to Hungary, but in my case, since I'm pretty far off from the next reform, I'm just going to take them myself. Once you're back to 20% crown land, that should be much better. You're no longer losing autonomy. It's just this, you know, stuff that doesn't really matter. Tax mod's annoying, but it's not a huge deal. So you're shooting for at least 20. Seize on and cool on hard until then. Of course, you can attack Venice. I wouldn't recommend attacking the Ottomans until you are at least tied with him in military. And usually that's not going to be till Tech 7 or something. Fortunately, I haven't got the Burgundian inheritance yet. It's just complete RNG and when that'll happen, of course. Burgundy wants to fight France. This is interesting. I suppose let's do it. Do we win that? Do we win these? I hope so. Oh, it's France is attacking us. That's unfortunate. The entire force of their army converged on one battle. It didn't let me call in my allies, which is annoying because he called me in as a regular ally instead of like defending the empire. Yeah, it was hard losing. It's too early to fight France. This is bad. Not super happy this is happening. Problem is I don't have military 6, and they do, so they're taking advantage of that. That doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It just would be nice to not lose this war. But at least there could be a truce with France. We'll attack France later. Not overly concerned about it. It's just annoying. Burgundy will cede. Oh no, he lost so much to France. Ooh. Burgundy, that's disastrous. That's a really unfortunate scenario. Burgundy's gonna be like the weakest I've ever seen him. If I do inherit him, right? He's lost like all of his provinces to France. And I didn't have the mill tech to do anything about it. I should be getting my next... Actually, I'm okay. I can go ahead and get this next reform done now. Grab my 3rd reform. I usually like to get expanded royal court for reform progress growth. Of course, you need to continue to seize land here. As always. I'm almost to having 30 crown land like I want. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the crown land grind, but you gotta do it. I'm just holding my points for now because I don't want to spend an extra 30% on the different technologies. Make sure you double check that you always have 12 free cities too. Sometimes you might lose one here and there. Oh, also, never take a female heir. Of course, you can't do that. Probably grab the aggressive tension impact one here. That or the war taxes one, whichever you like. Go ahead and embrace the institution now, which is nice. I can get my Miltech to 6 and my Avon to 6. Make sure if you didn't have an heir that you once again vote for yourself. It will not automatically do that for some reason. I'll switch my focus back to admin now that my idea group is done. Of course, I'm going to grab religious as my next idea group. Now that I'm mill 7, I can grab some cannons. I would recommend doing something like 12-4-4 as a good army composition. Yeah, I went ahead and transferred both my armors to that 12-4-4. That should come in handy. I now have 40 guys. Much better prepared to go to war. In fact, going to war with the Ottomans might be a good choice coming up soon. And they just got a crusade against them too, so that'll be even more helpful. Definitely an option in the future. Whenever you're going to war, remember your imperial authority, right? You don't want to go to war if you're at like 40, because you're not gonna be able to pass the reforms, right? So keep that in mind. I'm gonna go ahead and go to war. I wouldn't recommend doing I wouldn't recommend the Holy War. You don't really care anyways. Aggressive expansion's not a concern when you're attacking the Ottomans. No one really cares about that. I instead would take a war goal like Ragusa. That's easy for you to get. Call in Poland, of course. And I would recommend trying to get to its capital as soon as possible, but also the war goal, right? Those two things are what I would focus on, definitely. Of course, Crusade's going to be helpful. Make sure you have a good advisor with morale, too. It's not, depending on how well he's doing, it could be a pretty difficult war. Generally, it's not too difficult, though. Once you have cannons and stuff, right? Because you have Poland, and that's why I wouldn't declare a holy war just in case, because it's like, you never know if your allies are going to throw away his men and, all alone somewhere. Or if I'm going to throw away my men right here. I'm just kidding. We're chilling. Or are we? Get in there. Okay. We got in there. Important part is that we do have the war goal, and we did win that battle. That battle is actually pretty important for the war. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab my Avon 7. Of course, I mentioned religious ideas as you're going to be your go-to choice for your second idea. And the way I like to do ideas is just ignore the tech. So I wouldn't go to Tech 8 until I'm completely done with religious ideas. Alright, so I got the personal union here, inherited, and of course I'm going to select keep our union. And at the very least, he shouldn't be able. There should be a truce for a while, so he can't just immediately go to war with me while I'm at war with the Ottomans, which would be really annoying. So I'm glad for that at least. The sooner you get that, the better, because it's gonna be less loss of imperial authority. So this just depends on your luck, though. Of course, I would recommend that you release Byzantium in the first war you do with the Ottomans. We'll talk about this in nearly every campaign, but if something is sieged and you just are late, it only has 100 garrisons, so it's really easy to just assault and barrage with no losses. Of course, you can see if you can get other people out of the war as soon as... A lot of times they'll want to leave once the war's been going on a little bit too long for their taste. So this event, Reichsschafat, surely I said that right, is very good. You, of course, do not take the civility. Take the negative civility here. Of course, you can hover over the nation, look at what Byzantium should have, and grab as many of those as possible. If you need money, you could consider taking money. But yeah, I'm just going to take this. Of course, I'm going to release Byzantium. I just want to create a path here too, so next war I should be ready to go. And I can easily get to like the rebels if they have any, stuff like that. So, should be good. Of course, immediately releasing Byzantium here. I would recommend enforcing his religion straight away. But yeah, just be sure to improve relations with him. It shouldn't be a huge deal. Of course. So in my case, I want to get the next reform, but because I'm overextended, they won't give it to me. So I'm actually going to just give away these provinces to Byzantium as well. And that should be fine. And now as you can see, I can get the reform straight away. So I'm going to grab that. So, of course, we inherited Burgundy here. That's nice. We're going to go ahead and make sure we state that up. Make sure you're not over your force limit now that you got the extra guys or anything like that, right? It's up to you if you want to disband some guys, disband some ships. Just depending on how your finances are. Well, I got a little bit more money rolling. I'm going to grab some more guys. So now I've got 80 guys. And we're looking a lot stronger. Of course, once you can get the inheritance, you're going to be much stronger than before the inheritance. It's pretty straightforward there. I'm debating whether I should war or I should save some money and upgrade this great project. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the burger loans. I can expand infrastructure at least one time. That'll decrease the price a little bit. The question is, how much manpower do I want to use to boost it? Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and get my great project to rank 2. Of course, it's gonna increase the imperial authority it gives. So I'm gonna have to wait a hot minute before I go attack France now, unfortunately. I mean, I could probably attack one something like 40k manpower if I'm being greedy. I'd say sure, I'll be greedy. I would recommend getting some better advisors when you feel like you can afford it. Especially admin, because I'm doing my admin idea. So I'm probably going to grab my advisor to 3. Yeah, I think to 3, that'll help. The Diplo Rep one from here is pretty strong to get. Of course, I always put like 1 point into the becoming the papal controller, you never know. It's always better to have a small chance than no chance. As soon as my manpower feels like it's in a good place, I'm going to go ahead and go to war with France. I'm just going to declare the war and get going. Of course, this is a pretty big war, so I got to be careful. I'm going to get sieged out here, but hopefully Poland will kind of get over here, and Lithuania as well. Okay, I got the war goal. I'm going to start getting out some of these other allies. Yeah, I just don't have the manpower for this war because of getting the great project up and not waiting long enough. A little impatient. You know, I should have been a little more patient. Sadly, I think I'm just gonna light piece this war. It's unfortunate, but I was just not prepared. I didn't have the manpower. So, lesson learned there. I need full manpower to go to war with France. Not much I can really do about that now. Really wish I got this manpower buff when I was at war, but I didn't. Just gonna stabilize. I'm in 7 loans now. It's kind of bad. That war is not the way. And now France is allied to freaking the Ottomans, and that's super annoying. I'm trying to find maintenance here. I'm just kind of I'm trying to recover from that war that went bad. Of course, we're going to be able to get our next reform soon, and you don't need to get these last 2 reforms. You can go straight to centralization, which I would recommend. We have a good enough economy that we can recover from that situation, for sure. And I got my religious ideas complete, so I'm ready for Reformation when it comes. Of course, it's got a little ways. So I'm going to grab this first centralization one here. That should be good. Of course, we're only 3 reforms away from revoking. Alright, grab another reform here. I'm going to grab Sustained Discipline for the Land Attrition mod. Now I'm officially out of debt. Things are looking good. My manpower is getting there. So I'm going to do World Reconquest, call in my allies. And I'm going to focus hard on France. I'm waiting for Morale another month, but I'm going to focus hard on France. I'm immediately just going to siege out Paris. Assault, rather. Oh, we got Crusade as well. That's nice. Oh my god, Speed 5 Gaming got me good there. I tried to, like, click away from it, but it wouldn't let me. Should have been able to reinforce faster, but the game goes by really fast on 5 speed. I'm gonna grab this, Proclaim Holy War, Manpower Recovery Speed. I'm gonna do a rare thing and turn the game speed down after that moment. And that way, maybe I won't accidentally screw up like that. It's allowed occasionally, guys, if you know. Okay, you just got bullied. 10 war score? Oh, why did I hire? Never hire Confederate, guys. Never hire it. That's what happens. Negative 10 war score. I don't know why that's worth 10 war score. It's 6 guys. Like, come on, Paradox. Seriously. Like, I think it's dumb as shit. It's about the worth of Paris, the 6 mercenaries. Alright, I'll just end the war with France. I'm gonna make him a duel with the Venice and the Papal States. Should be fine. So I'm gonna grab that war goal first and foremost. Venice will rent 20 guys? Sure, for free? Wow. Nice. I like it. Even though Venice hates me. He hates the Ottomans worse, I guess. That looks good to me. I'm happy with that. And he's dueling with France, more importantly. Of course, I'm going to give away all these provinces to Byzantium. I do not want them, and most of them are his cores anyways. But mostly, I need to not have provinces, or I need to not have a extension right now, because you really can't pass reforms when you do that. So, you should see and grab this next reform here. Looks good. You see my growth should be skyrocketing a bit from that. So France now is in a much better spot with allies. We're happy with that. Oh, we can I just noticed I'm missing a free city. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a new free city. Where is it? Here. So let's see if I can grant a new free city. Just help with our authority just a bit. Very easy to get this, as you can see. even with failed wars and stuff like that, it's very chill. Definitely played a bit better, but I haven't played this style in a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and grab Tech 10, and I like to grab admin ideas for the third idea group. You could also do influence. Both are pretty good, but I'm gonna go with admin first, just because I want the. I know eventually I'm gonna need the gov cap. Although I'm doing good gov cap now, I don't know. I always feel comfortable with having that as a third idea group. If you're in a position like me right now and you want to just take the lazy route, which I'm feeling like, you don't really need to go into any more wars, right? Like you're gonna have, you're gonna be able to revoke, and then the wars will be free. So I'm probably just gonna just chill and let the imperial authority just tick up and up. It's ticking up pretty fast, as you can see already. Like, you know, 0.56 a month. Like I could go to war with France, but then I gotta go to war with France in 10 years with all of the HRE, right? Instead, and just make it the easiest war ever. If you have extra diplomats, you can always go to your diplomacy menu here and just hit neighboring countries. I have a bunch, so I might as well just send, you know, it's not a bad idea to just improve relations with a bunch of different people. Especially will help when you get towards revoking. Ooh, we have our first heretic prince. Uh-oh. Who is it going to be? So you see these reform centers are here. This is a nice one to have. Frankfurt's generally a pretty good one because you can just force him to convert. Question is, can I get into a war with him? The answer is yes. So all I have to do is attack Trier here. This is a super nice religious center for me. That's going to be relatively easy for me to get rid of. All I'm going to need is a CB with Trier, and then I'm just going to force convert this guy here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this next reform here. Should be good. I wouldn't even need to do anything with the Reformation if I didn't want to, because you know, my authority is so good, but might as well get rid of the religious center. So we have another one here. I go to war with Denmark. That would be smart. You really just want to get rid of the religious centers ASAP, right? Some religious centers will have a debuff that won't let you convert it for a while. So these don't. Like, for example, this one might. Yeah, you notice this religious zeal, negative 100%. So the only way to convert these is to do the force convert, and I'll show you that in a sec. Gonna attack Trier. I'll call my allies. This will be obviously a cakewalk. And mostly I just want to go straight for Frankfurt's capital and force convert. And of course, I'm not going to take anything in the war. Just fixing the religious center problem. So just to show you this, obviously Frankfurt is the religious center, and once I go ahead and go to force religion on him, this should remove this religious center like that. Very good. It's ideal if you get the religious centers to go on one province nations like that. It's gonna be your best bet. And of course, I don't want anything from this war, so I can just go ahead and wipe peace out. I'll go ahead and assign another free city as well. Looks like one of them was destroyed. Gonna go to this menu here. Grant free city status. Should be good. Side note for the revoke privilege, just so you guys know, you'll want all the princes to be voting for it before you select it, obviously, right? Because if any ones that aren't voting will just be released as their own nation, and that's not really a deal for you. You may even need to wait for your imperial authority to get closer to 100 to, you know, get all the people you want. Or you need to go around and find who's upset and maybe improve relations with them and stuff. So the Age of Reformation has just begun right now, and as you can see, I even have the imperial authority. Basically, I'm, you know, a few months away from revoking, and the Age of Reformation just begins. So that's kind of how it goes. It's pretty easy. So you can see I could revoke here, but obviously I won't because there's 29 princes against it. So I'm just going to chill for a bit. Nice, I got some luck and inherited Hungary as my leader died. Nice, I can add a few provinces to the HRE as well. And that will increase my authority drastically. I'm going to go ahead and revoke the privilege now that there's no princes voting against it. The first thing I would do whenever you get this event is I would go to your subjects and divert trade everywhere. So after you go ahead and divert trade everywhere, you'll notice my income goes from 25 a month up to 48. So it's very potent. I think it even might go up more because it didn't calculate yet. There you go, 78. You could also, you could probably switch your trade up so you're collecting from Genoa. And that will increase your money even more. There we go. So you can see it went from 25 a turn to 122 a turn. Let me know if you guys want to see a part 2 of this video. If you do, I'll set a light goal of 150, which might be a little high, but also I believe in you guys. I'll give you 2 weeks to do it, even. And of course, please consider subscribing if you enjoyed the content, and as always, have a great day, and thanks for watching.